Oh, hey, I'm Big Boss, and you are too. What am I doing here? I'm gonna inject myself in my and we're gonna see which ones this has. Does that trend, peptides, BPC? What's better, steroids or peptides? Well, we're gonna find out right now.
I think I just might nut. Oh my god.
Oh, fuck. Hold on. And then ways that peptides or steroids are used. I mean, people already know how they're used, right? With steroids, you inject them like in the quads, in the ass. You know, same thing with peptides. A visual demonstration? Shit. We could do that later. And another way could be like with oral. You know, you droplets or something like that. Put them in the mouth. You do a dirty mind. I don't know what you're thinking of. And another could be like tablets. You know, stuff like that. There are many other ways too, but a lot of people use like stuff with the mouth or with like syringes to get a lot of the effectiveness. Because a lot of times if you use like pills or something, a lot of people are gonna say that they're not gonna be as effective as the other ones. But I promise you, if you never even use steroids or peptides, it'll work just as good. You know. Look at David and like the Trent twins. You know, Mikey looks like he's in fucking like 50 years old. Like 40, and then there's David, who's older than Chris Bumstead, and he looks younger. There's a difference, obviously, in the effect. Alright, and then for peptides, mild nausea, fatigue, and headaches, redness, pain, itching, swelling, blah blah, and then flu-like symptoms. Okay, and then fluid retention, bloating, or water retention. Obviously, like holding water in, you know, blah blah. And then the long-term. Unknown long-term safety. I don't even know what the fuck that means. They don't understand the lack of research. So basically not enough research for the long-term effects, which could be good or bad. And then hormonal imbalance, same thing. You're gonna have, you know, this and this and this. If you don't use peptides, your system's gonna crash, and you're gonna need that to like be in regular like whatever. Insulin resistance, obviously you know what that means. Like your body is gonna resist to a bunch of the like peptides you use, so you'll have to use more and more to keep up with that state that you're in. Making sexy back. Alright, so the short-term effects of steroids, obviously you know what it is. Bigger muscles, you look jacked. Think of it like bodybuilding, you know, except without the use of cocaine and like other stuff, you know. But the short-term effects could be like cardiovascular, which increases mood changes and fluid retention, severe acne, oily skin, bloating, and fatigue. There's also another thing, bloating. I'm sure you guys seen a lot of bodybuilders with the fucking big ass belly, right, and it has abs in it. That's what a lot of bloating is, you know, because the fucking like. And then another thing could be like psychological, increased aggression, like roid rage, and rapid mood swings. Now, for any specific for like women and men, it could be like shrinking testicles, decreased in sperm count, and then such as like breast tissue growth. And then in women, it could be like a deeper voice, and same thing, you know, except I guess not without the shrinking titties, you know. Long term can be like organ damage, obviously a hormonal disruption, which means like you could lose natural all that stuff, and then you would need to keep using steroids and stuff too. And then physical permanent damage, you know, your skin looking like all leathery and all ugly. And then psychological dependence, which is addiction, you know. And then acromegaly. Excessive tissue growth can occur with the misuse of peptides that affect growth hormone. Potential cancer risks and immune responses. The body having an adverse immune or allergic reaction. There you go. So obviously those are the effects, like the bad effects, obviously. Which one would you guys take? I mean, between those two, obviously the peptide, right? You recording? Oh, why didn't you tell me? Whatever. Alright, so the benefits: encouraging muscle growth and weight management. That's for peptides, such as CG9, 1219, and others. Increases lean mass and more efficient fat metabolism. Boosts your metabolism and increases your muscle mass, but leaner. And then regulates appetite, slowing digestion, improves recovery and healing. You know, a lot of sports people use them, such as if they tore something, they'll use peptides to, you know, heal a little bit faster. Which is what a lot of people use, especially like in the doctors. Like if you need through surgery, you need to heal quick, they use peptides, you know. Supports anti-aging and skin health. That's probably one that a lot of people would probably reason why people use peptides. It doesn't really slow aging, but it makes your skin a lot more healthier and a lot slower of use of like aging. So basically, yeah, but it just makes your skin more healthier. Think of it like collagen, but more enhanced. Enhancing cognitive functions. You know what that means. You and your fucking Pokemon go away. No. Basically improves brain function, all that stuff, you know, that good stuff. Balancing hormones. It can help regulate your hormones if you don't use them too much, an excessive amount. And boost the immune system. Basically, your immune system helps boost it, gives it a bigger enhancer. And now for steroids. Same thing, but just more rapid growth, significant muscle gains. We could give a bunch of examples of like people that use it. Think of it like Kevin Leroney. I'm sure you guys seen some areas where he was like very lean, but then when he got into the steroids and stuff like that again in the season, he grew big, right? But then again, he was more hyper sensitive to the don't show me that. More hypersensitive to the steroids. Alright. And then faster recovery time. Same thing. Faster healing, all that blah blah. Increased strength and power. You know. And then enhanced performance. Basically just all out, you're better at everything you do here. Yeah, pretty much it. Look, this is what it was. It was like this, look. This is how it was. When I recorded it, when I typed it last night, this is how it looked. It looked so good. It looks so good and like all perfect, like, you know, like that's how it. Don't you dare show that. We need to censor that. All right. So a lot of reasons why people use peptides or steroids is one, for peptides it could be medical shit. You know, the things I talked about earlier. You tore something and you want to heal up fast. You know, that's when you use peptides, or for medical use. You know, healing, recovery, basically everything that I talked about earlier. But then for steroids, same thing. But a lot of times it's for a lot of more serious things. So just like your immune system, like we had a friend that had to use steroids because of their surgery, right? Like that. And then doctors may describe the treatment. But such as bodybuilding, you know, a lot of people use all kinds of steroids. And then they would want to, you know, get big, you know. Look at Chris Bumstead and David Lade. One does like, you know, bodybuilding, the other is just more like influencer, right? He never used peptides, but I mean, I guess now he does. And then versus Chris Bumstead, he did steroids, and look at the difference, you know. And then one looks older than the other. And a lot of times it's for appearance. Bodybuilding want to get big and jacked. Well, that's pretty much reasons why. It could be medical reasons, for performance, for shows, and then others just to look how you want to look, right? Fuck. Here, I could talk about more. Fun fact, I have a tattoo on my back. Guess from where? The Joe Starburst mark.
We're putting that on.
What? No. You want to know a better understanding of steroids and peptides? Ooh. Think about it like this. This is steroids. This is the peptides. Which one do you think is better? I want you to guess.
Steroids.
Because this has a lot more risks than this.
Well, better for you, I guess, but
Think of this as like the cocaine of steroids, you know?
I like doing cocaine.
No, you don't. This is illegal to use, but I could buy it. It's legal to buy. Don't worry. I ain't breaking no law. But obviously, you can compare these two as like the peptides and the steroids. I think this is a better understanding for a lot of people. Really? You take care? But like a lot of times with you recording? You recording? Alright, so basically more of the story is don't use them. I'm sure a lot of you people are like my age, maybe younger, and working out, You guys have a lot of potential, a lot of growing still to do. And obviously if you use them, you're gonna ruin that. And if you are using them, then there's kind of no going back, because it's like when you start, that's what you'll be known as. You'll be known as someone that uses steroids instead of being natural. The moral story is don't use them unless you are going to be doing shows or any of that stuff. But I promise you, I'm sure all of you have a lot of potential. So please, don't use them unless you're willing to go that far. Can Pokemon Go again?
No.
Let me see.
No.
That's like paragraph, like how it was in between each other, and they said like what it does.
And then you want I forgot all about it.
Maybe. And then should I do like in order, like short term, long term for steroids, and then short term, long term for peptides, just like that? Got it. Is there something wrong? What? What am I doing wrong? Nothing? Why are you smiling at me like that? Why are you getting hard? I'm not hard, you're hard. No. What is that about? What is that about?
Just came?
No. No.
Want to try it again?
No.
To the camera?
You know what you could do? You could jerk it to failure way.
Oh, you took a little.
You, I probably won't even feel that anyways.
Oh, wait, I know.
Nah. You're recording my ass.
No.
Fuck. Oh, fuck.
What are you today? The motivator?